Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another international broadcast of Christ Life for Living. We're going worldwide by these glorious medias that we have today in the world to be able to reach the world. I think we should take advantage of that, if that's the right wording for that. But using those to touch and to reach the whole world with this great and glorious, notable day of the Lord of glory. What do we mean in glory? The Lord of glory is the plan and purpose of God. This is Christ now. The plan and purpose of God before the foundations of the world. That's glorious. That's a glorious knowledge, a glorious understanding, and a glorious gospel, Paul would say. He called it glorious. My gospel. The glory of God revealed through the Apostle Paul's ministry and message of the Christ in you, the hope of glory. That's glorious. The glory of the Lord. What shall be revealed in us, the glory of the Lord? What shall be revealed in the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in you. The revelation revealed, the glory revealed, taking you back to before anything was, before time began, before the world was created. God had chosen you to be in Him, in the Son, in Him, chosen to be in Him before the foundations of the world. That's where we get this glorious message, the glorious gospel of Christ in you, the hope of glory. There's no other words. There's no other terms. There's no other gospel. There's no other way. There's no other life. I am the way, the life, no truth other than Christ. No greater truth than Christ in you. Christ in you is the truth that God would work on you as believers to get this message, to get this understanding to you. I'm a firm believer when the time is right, when it pleased God. That's the element of time. When the time is right, He's going to use someone to cross your paths and talk to you about the Christ that's in you. You've been talked to about your sin. You've been talked to about all your failures. You've been talked to and preached down and preached up so many times. You don't know which way is up, which way is down. You just stumbling around a little bit in that darkness of the knowledge of good and evil, men twisting it to make it sound wonderful. The knowledge of good and evil will not fit this world. There's another knowledge. It's called the knowledge of the Lord, the mind of Christ. We're talking about the glorious mind of Christ, the glorious Lord and His mind, that glory. In that glory, in that mind, you see the plan and purpose of God that He purposed in Himself. He purposed this. He purposed all things. All things were created by Him, and nothing that was created was not created without Him. He did it all. He created all things. He made you look just like Him in His image, the very image of God, the very likeness of God. Did He in you? Did He in Adam? Did He in us? All of humanity are in the image and likeness of God. They just need an exchange of natures. That nature got exchanged on the cross. It is finished. What was finished? He took out that sin and death and darkness out of mankind that came into them. Sin entered into the world by one man. He took that to the cross, crucified it, killed it, crucified all in Adam, killed out that darkness. And in Him is no darkness. In Him is the light. He's the light of all men. He's the light of the world. He's the light. Now darkness would raise its ugly head because that's what the darkness does. It's in man. It's in humanity. If you was to take everybody out of this world would be just fine. Where's the darkness? It's in men. It's not when the sun goes down. S-U-N. Darkness is in men. Darkness is in every human being. The root of darkness runs through the born-again believer. The root. It's like the root of religion. It's a root. The root of the law. The root that came out of that nature. The spirit of fear. How many live in fear? Fear of the unknown. Fear of your body. Fear of dying. Fear. Lots of fear. Afraid of everything. Afraid of people. That's where all the violence comes from. It comes out of fear. Fear is the root of all things. And the spirit of error that's in the world today is that men, born again men, the child of God still has that fear, which was by that nature. No, what we have now is only in mind. That fear is in mind. All the things that the mind was taught by sin in men now no longer exists. Not in spirit. Let's divide soul and spirit. It's no longer in spirit. It's in mind. Why is that? He that's joined unto the Lord is one spirit. You have one spirit now. You had one spirit before the cross. You have one spirit now after the cross, the believer. Those that have Christ in them. One spirit. There's not two spirits. Not now. Not the spirits that were joined. They're one. That's the born again. This is a glorious word, a glorious gospel, and it's to those that live in this world now. Heaven's going to be all right, but right now, it's not all right. This world is not all right. Human beings are not okay. A human being that does not have Christ in them is not okay. They're going to live in darkness. This world will never put things together. And those that have Christ in them are okayed in spirit. But we're not okay in that old mind of the knowledge of good and evil because it duplicates the nature. Trained, expressed, this life, this image and likeness, me making choices, that's the likeness. Your image is this right here, what you see, that's an image. Maybe even aura might come off of us. But the likeness is for the human being to make a decision, to choose. We're not robots. That's why we feel like we're God. We're gods. We feel like we're little gods, controlling everything, control the world. Look at, I won't get into all that, but we see it. It happens in the world. That's what happens in the world. We have a bunch of little gods running around, locking horns on a daily basis. And so that's the way we feel in the knowledge of good and evil. It's a knowledge. It's not the only knowledge that exists, but it's a knowledge. It's one knowledge. The knowledge of good and evil. One knowledge. But there's another knowledge. There's another knowledge that exists in this world, and it's the knowledge of the Lord, His knowledge. Paul would tell us on numerous occasions, know this, know that, know this, that the old man is crucified with him, knowing, getting a different mind, getting a different understanding, getting that mind, that mind is the only mind that fits this world. The mind of Christ fits the world. I didn't say you'd be worldly. I said it would fit this world, though. It's the only thing that can help you put this world together is the mind of Christ, His mind. Having a new mind. We got a new spirit. We're brand new. New creations, it says. Where is that? Spirit. That's spirit. We're spiritual beings. And we've got a mind. I'm sure that fits in there somewhere. Dividing soul and spirit. So you can divide them. They're two different things. Your spirit and your mind, your soul, are two different things. And your soul is the way you're going to express what you know. Paul is going to deal with your knowing all through his epistles. Knowing this. And then he talks about how to know it. He says it must be revealed. It cannot be taught by man. It can only be revealed. So what do we do in the understanding of preaching Paul's gospel is we confirm to people. We would only confirm to you that, yeah, you might be seeing Christ as your life because that revelation exists. No man is going to come up to you in religion and tell you, yeah, you're getting the mind of Christ. You don't need to come back here. You don't need to do all these things. You don't need to give your last bottom dollar to try to keep all this going, to grease the cogs, the gears of religion. You don't need to do that anymore. No, man will tell you, you need to do a little bit more. How many's wore out there? I got wore out. I didn't just get tired. I was wore out. I wasn't burnt out. I wore out. And quickly, if you're going for it, are you going for it? If you're going for it, you'll get wore out. So go for it more, because the quicker you wear out, the quicker you can come to the understanding of Christ as your life. That's the way it's fixed in our Father. He's fixed something in Galatians 4:1-2. He talks about it until the appointed time of the Father. The appointed time, that element, we're in the world. Elements, the element of time is working on the human being to bring them to where they'll stand. I remember standing in the doorway of that garage, door lifted up, and I just had the understanding revealed to me some days before, and now starting to see these things, scriptures taking on understanding. And Paul said, whereby you may cry, Abba, Father. Abba, Father, my Father, my Father. I seen my Father for the first time. When I had a revelation of Jesus Christ, I seen the Father. My Father. My Father. I like what my one good friend says, minister. He says, we're seated in heavenly places. He said, but where I want to see myself seated is in the lap of my Father. My Father, my Father. Whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The revelation of Jesus Christ is the most real thing that can happen to born-again believers. Those that have Christ in them, having the Christ revealed to them, and getting their feet planted on this solid foundation of the gospel that Paul preached. You must tune in to Paul's message, Paul's gospel. There's multitudes of people in this world preaching the gospel that Paul preached. They may not be millions of them. I don't know how many there are, but I personally know a lot that preach the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. This resurrected, glorious gospel, the plan and purpose of God before before the foundations of the world, to reveal his Son in me. When it pleased God to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen. Who's the heathen? They that do what they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it, with no concern for God. Heathen. That's what it means. That's what a heathen is. And that encapsulates the church and the world all together. Bless you guys. Come back again. Bye-bye.